This one is a powerful one. I'm going to run you through 12 quotes that inspired me and helped me shift from 30k a year to about 30k a month. We're actually above that now. But these 12 things helped shape my way of thinking, and I also continually go back and reference them all the time. And they are all absolute bangers. I'm going to do them in reverse order, but the last one is my absolute favorite. So let's get into it. Number 12, master of destiny or victim of circumstance. The way that you feel is actually up to you. It's all about choice and perception. We've all got the power to control our own journey rather than just reacting to what the world throws at us. Every day we make loads of choices that significantly impact, when they pile up, the rest of our lives, whether we like it or not. But far too many people let the external dictate their mood. They let the world dictate their feelings and their opinions and live pretty much their whole life as a victim of circumstance. And yes, we can't control every single circumstance that arises, but we can control how we react to each one of them. And this is what separates the victims from the masters. You need to own your choices, own your thoughts, and own your feelings rather than just simply responding all the time. Number 11, this is a Hormozy one. Asking the question, what problem are we fixing? Business is all about problem solving, but lots of people don't actually take a step back and examine the one or two things that they need to, the one or two things that are having a significant impact on the problems they're facing. They're on the hunt for quick fixes and hacks, like trying to put a plaster on a broken arm or something. And that's because they're not stepping back and assessing the whole situation, or they're obsessing over things that don't actually have that much impact. It's like the healthcare space in the UK. You can walk into a doctor's and within like 5-10 minutes, walk out with a prescription for antidepressants. And they don't even ask you about your lifestyle, your sleep, diet, exercise. So all they're doing really is putting a plaster on rather than treating the root cause and not really solving the problem. And since I heard Alex Hormozy asking this question, I continually ask it myself. What problem are we fixing, or what problem are we solving? Go a bit deeper and you'll probably fix multiple things by determining the root cause. Number 10, this is from James Clear. Winners and losers have the same goals. Most people don't actually accomplish what they set out to do. You know, maybe they want to be rich and be a millionaire. Maybe they want to lose 10 stone, whatever it is. Because just setting a goal isn't enough to carry you. It's actually the steps between where you are now, where you want to be, and determining a plan or a roadmap of actions that you need to undertake to make that goal happen. And those steps are either one-off tasks or things that you repeat regularly, small habits. Let's go with the losing weight angle. The one-off task could be to join a gym. The habit is to keep going repeatedly. Another one-off task could be downloading the MyFitnessPal app and paying for the premium subscription, whereas the habit would be tracking your food regularly. So it's all about personal standards and how high you set the bar for yourself. As soon as you set a standard, it becomes a default action, a baseline that you'll never go below. And ultimately, the people that don't succeed are the people that tolerate mediocrity. And the thing I believe in more than anything else is taking action. Because it's all good wanting to lose weight or become a millionaire, but what do you need to do to actually make it happen? One-off and daily. Number 9, good things aren't cheap and cheap things aren't good. There's usually a relationship between price and quality. Most people jump at the opportunity to save money, again looking for a quick, easy fix, but when you spend more, typically it means better quality. And for me, cheap prices raise red flags, lots of them. Like my first few tattoos were alright, they were cheap though. I paid £150 a portrait. After a bit of research, I found out there were a lot better artists out there, but they were all more expensive, like £600-700 a portrait, and they had 6-month waiting lists. But if you're paying for something that's going to be with you for life, why would you go with the cheap option? And the same goes for coaches and mentoring and programs. If you're some kind of course junkie that just keeps buying £50 courses and wonders why you're not getting the results that you want, it's probably because you're not investing enough. The quality is low. Like, do you seriously expect something with a $50 or a £50 price tag to be transformational? Probably not. It's probably too good to be true, because you get what you pay for. Number 8, this is by Maxwell Maltz. The greatest mistake a man can make is to be afraid of making one. The general population see mistakes as failure, but successful people see mistakes as opportunities. Each failure just moves you a step closer to success. Think of all the massive, monumental things that have been built over time. Pretty much all of them went through the pain of failure or defeat at the start, at some point. And the thing is, most people aren't even willing to take that initial risk. You can't grow if you're stuck in your comfort zone. You won't learn a thing. And if you've never done something before, you should expect a mistake. You should welcome a mistake, because those mistakes are just learning experiences. You know, we learn through trial and error, but natural instinct just tells us to stay safe. The discomfort seems like hardship, so we just naturally stay in our comfort zones. But in order to achieve anything worthwhile, you have to take a risk. Don't let fear hold you back. Number 7, Dale Carnegie. Talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours. This is a big one to remember in sales. People don't care about you. They only care about themselves. You probably know someone that only ever talks about themselves, doesn't shut up, and they're probably quite annoying to be around. And as backwards as this sounds, if you want to be interesting, you should ask questions. To be interesting, you should be interested. By showing interest in someone's business or someone's life, you acknowledge them, you acknowledge their existence, and you can strengthen relationships massively just through showing interest. Because most of the time, people's favourite subject is them. And if you ask questions around that, the conversation flows and opens up more questions. And when it comes to sales, the person asking the questions has the power. It's a basic human desire to be understood. When we feel valued, we feel validated, which is exactly how you want your clients and your prospects to feel. But also your friends, family, colleagues as well. Number 6, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I used to hang around with a pretty bad crowd. We'd be staying up late, drinking all the time, getting up to loads of mischief. I'm not going to put it all on YouTube. And that led to a bad mindset, bad habits, and ultimately bad consequences as well. I was working in a job that I hated, had no motivation. I was basically just living for the weekend so I could go and get drunk and forget about life until Monday rolled round again. And it kept going in this vicious cycle. So I was winning stupid prizes because I was playing stupid games. And it took me a long time to realize that every action that we take has consequences, either good or bad. But it's not just the initial consequences, there's second order, third order, fourth order consequences, like a ripple effect from the original choice. So drinking alcohol, as an example, the first order consequence might be that you fall out with someone or you end up getting into a fight. The second is the hangover. The third is that you make poor food choices for a couple of days. The fourth might mean you're less productive at work and you make less money. And some actions have everlasting consequences too. So be careful what games you play. Number 5, I love this one. I'm not who I think I am who you think I am. Self-image is fascinating, and the more I think about it, the more my life has improved. Because our understanding of who we are goes well beyond internal beliefs and self-talk. A lot of the time it's just shaped by how we believe that other people perceive us. And we form ideas about ourselves based on the opinions and the beliefs and thoughts of people around us. Like if other people consistently see us or tell us that we're intelligent or we're clever or we're handsome or whatever it might be, we'll internalize those thoughts and then we start to use them as part of our own self-image. So it's a level deeper than just self-talk, because we also take into account what we believe other people believe about us. Constantly trying to understand how other people perceive us and then using that perception to shape our own perception, which then dictates our self-worth or our self-identity in some cases. And seeking validation like this is dangerous. Because if we constantly change our behavior and our self-talk based on those opinions or our perception of those opinions, then we're no longer being true to ourselves. And I did this for about 30 years. I was completely reliant on the opinions of other people. And it's not a good place to be. Number 4 is a quote from Peter Drucker. What gets measured gets done. Don't get me wrong, data is pretty boring, but the world revolves around it. We've spoken about goals and how to achieve them, but in order to make the most of something, we have to track it or monitor it somehow. For example, if you sell a £5,000 product, do you actually know how much it costs to market, sell and deliver it? Do you know how much ad spend or how many messages you have to put in on the front end to acquire a customer? Because if you've not got sight of the main actions that impact that end result, you're basically going in blind. You're basically guessing. Imagine the weight loss thing. Like, how much easier is it going to be to stay on track if you know exactly what type of food, what macro, what number of calories you're consuming? Because by tracking these metrics daily, not only do they keep you motivated, you can also adapt them, but you get to see how everything works together as one. I've got a health sheet, a finance sheet, and a marketing sheet. All dead simple. But those are the parts of my life and my business that I want to continuously improve. So I make sure I measure, track, and check them daily. Quote number 3 is by Robert Greene, and it's a really simple one. Dead time or alive time. I love this one because you're either using time efficiently or you're wasting it. There is no in between. We're distracted all the time. Netflix, alerts on our phone, just drama, obligations, whatever it may be. And time is the most precious resource we have, but most people just choose to waste it. When I first started this self-development journey of mine back in 2020, I read a lot about Stoicism and how you can live like a happier and more fulfilled and successful life. And the Stoics say that you can't control the world around you, you can only control your response to it. And 2 authors that I read books from spoke about this dead time or alive time. That was Robert Greene and his protege Ryan Holiday, both great authors. And Ryan Holiday carries around this double-sided piece of card. One side, it says dead time. The other side says alive time. And he uses that as motivation. And it's so simple. But the best things in life and business are simple. What are you working on today that's actually helping you grow? And what are you working on today that just isn't contributing to anything at all? Because we all have 24 hours in a day, and the best entrepreneurs are focusing on alive time. What's giving them or generating them the highest ROI? Or as I like to call it, ROT. Yes, ROT, return on time. The mediocre entrepreneurs' days are just filled up with dead time. They're living completely reactively, responding to every notification, every email, every new follower in real time. Because your phone is screaming for your attention. It might be messages, friends, family, colleagues, clients, whatever it is. You can't control them, but you can control your time and how you use it. So don't kill time, choose to be alive in it. Number 2, another James Clear quote. We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So how successful you are will be determined by how low your baseline is, how low or high you set your personal standards. What are you willing to settle for? Because if you're willing to settle for selling your service for £500, that's what you're going to get. If you're settling for running 3 kilometers instead of 10 kilometers, 10 kilometers is going to be a lot harder when you do finally do it. And remember, everyone has goals, right? We all want to achieve things. But on the days that you're feeling rushed or you're feeling unwell, you will drop to that baseline. And the best thing to have at that baseline is a system. Because the goal provides the direction and the vision, but the system provides the steps and the means to actually get there. The whole world, your whole life is built on systems. Financial system, digestive system, solar system, whatever. So if you have a system to get to your goal, the goal becomes easier. Systems provide the structure and the routine that keeps us moving forward regardless of those momentary feelings. And lastly, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. This is my absolute favorite quote. I've got it framed in my office, I've got it on my identity sheet or my vision board or whatever you want to call it, and I feel like if everyone honed in on this one quote, the world will be a much better place. It's like a friendly reminder to avoid getting bogged down by all the nonsense out there. It keeps you from veering off course. Because most people want to do one thing, but what they do is actually completely different. Their actions contradict their aims. And that's because they're not focusing on the main thing. And I talk a lot about singular focus, rather than having loads and loads of things to do. And a prime example of this is when I was building this business in the early days, I was still working 9 to 5, Monday, Friday, and then building this on the side after hours. And I think I got to like 4K, 5K months. That's because my energy was split. I couldn't give the business 100% focus. But when I quit my job, we just under 8x the revenue in 3 months. Crazy. And that's because I was able to keep the main thing the main thing. I no longer had any distractions. I reckon I say this quote to myself 2-3 times a week just to keep me on track. Because a lot of people out there are just scattergun in their lives and their businesses. But this quote helps me cut through the noise and focus on what truly matters. If you're interested in hearing more about my journey and how we help other people hit those 10K, 15K months, then you can watch this video here where we go into a lot more detail about strategies and tactics too. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in this video next.